welcome back to another episode of Korbs Kitchen, episode Lucky 21.
Okie doke. Welcome to 2018. Glad to have everybody back for another year of episodes.
Wow.
That was acting.
Yeah, okay. Guess those lessons aren't working yet. Anyway, even though we planned on doing an episode every week for last year, some things came up. Vacations, illnesses, other exciting events. And so here we are back a couple weeks already into January, and we're starting the first episode of 2018.
So we did make 21 episodes. Like almost half. That 10 more would have been half, almost. Or
Half of what?
half of one a week. Half of 52.
Oh, okay, 20.
Half again as much.
Yeah.
And we went from 0 subscribers to a whole 34 subscribers. And we are almost at 4,000 total views for 21 videos.
Look out, world, here we come. Cool. So, that's pretty successful in my book.
So we will be making what we will be making. We will be making something that everybody loves. We will be making bread.
And to be more explicit, we'll be making Hawaiian sweetbread.
Gosh, it's
I made this many, many times in the past, back when I was a wee lass. It's been quite a while since I've made it, and I'm not sure my co-host here remembers the last time that I possibly made this recipe.
whenever the last time you had the machine was.
Yeah, but I don't make it out of the machine. I make it by hand. Do the old-fashioned kneading and rolling and rising and all of that good stuff.
So it's still Korbs Kitchen, so that means we still get some lovely jokes.
Yes, absolutely. What would Korbs Kitchen be without a few jokes to go along?
Zingers.
A few zingers to go along with what we're making for the day.
And so, since our jokes are so funny, how come bread jokes are even funnier?
Because they're loafing around?
Because they never get mold.
Alrighty. So, Ethan, I was reading in the news today that there was a baker in a real panic.
And why is that?
Why is that, you say? Because he was in a loaf or death situation.
So now that you guys are all probably recovering from that laughing fit,
Rolling in the dough.
rolling in the dough, let's hear the recipe here, lady.
All right, so, oh great, I don't have my glasses on, but I'll give it, it is a rather old recipe, so we'll go from there. The recipe will, of course, be available on Korbs Kitchen website. Maybe. So, we start off with, believe it or not, hot water and mashed potatoes. Somebody's already hot.
Dying.
So, you take the hot water, bring it to a boil, add your mashed potatoes. But then you need to let those cool down a little bit. Because if your temperature of anything gets too hot, it kills your yeast, doesn't rise, and you end up with a loaf of brick. A brick
A
loaf.
loaf of brick.
A loaf of brick. A brick
She
loaf.
means matzah.
Matzah. So, you're going to let that cool down to about 110 degrees. And then you're going to stir in your sugar, your dry milk, and your butter. And you're going to let all of that together cool down to about 110 degrees. That's about the max you can do for yeast before you kill it. So, in another bowl, what we're going to do in our mixer, we're going to have our yeast dissolved in warm water. We're going to add our cool potato mixture. We're going to add flour, eggs, salt, vanilla, and even some lemon flavoring.
Goodness gracious.
I'm debating about whether I'm going to add that or not. I don't think I ever have in the past, and I don't want it to taste too lemony or breakfasty. Just more of a Hawaiian sweetbread. So you're going to mix all of that until smooth. Then you're going to add in another cup and a half of flour. Continue working that. I'm going to say at this point it might be by hand, unless you have a really good mixer and really good paddles. You're going to need the going to need your hands to work it. And so you're going to turn it out to a floured board, and probably going to have to add another cup to a cup and a half of flour, and you just keep working it for 5 to 20 minutes until you get this nice satiny glow to your dough. And once you reach that point, you're going to put it in a greased bowl, cover it, and put it in a warm spot for about an hour to rise. So that's always the cool part. It always reminds me of the Lucy episode. You hope when you come back to the oven door isn't already propped open with the bread ready to come out. But anyway, it's enlarged in your bowl. You're going to take it back out. You're going to kind of punch it back down briefly on a floured board and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And then you get to make your decision on how you want to shape it. You can do it in a coiled pan. You can make, so that would be loaves, 2 loaves, or you could do coiled buns. You can do braided loaves or buns. You could do round loaves. I've always in the past, I divided into 6 equal portions. I braid it all, kind of tuck the ends under, and then let it rise again for about another 35 to 45 minutes. And at that point, then you're ready to bake. And you're going to take an egg and beat it all up and just kind of brush it over the top so you get a nice glossy look to your dough. Maybe sprinkle it with just a little bit of sugar and then bake. And we're hoping it's not a rainy day, it's not a cold, wet day, which is not good.
Nope.
Not a good day to work with yeast, and that we will get our finished product to go with dinner. So,
To work with yeast. Who's yeast?
who's yeast? Well, he's the man that showed up to make the bread rise.
Goodness. It's a recipe from...
Yeah.
Is this how you used to make it? In the 1800s?
Exactly. Yeah,
Look at
back
this.
then Laura Ingalls and I.
Looks like she just dug that out of a treasure chest.
Exactly. Well,
Time capsule.
I was making this bread long before I probably graduated from high school. So
There we go.
there we go. It's a few years old. So
Later.
So here we are back. Easy recipe, just time consuming because you have all sorts of rising. So anyway, here we are. Like I said, hours later, finished product. My co-host, I asked that we do one garlic parmesan. The other one,
Which one's which?
they're both the same. It's from the same loaf.
Okay. You just touched them both, but okay.
But the other one is just regular
Bread.
just butter with the little sugar on it like they suggest. So anyway, here we go. We have all sorts of interested parties here, along with our studio audience. Everybody got a free loaf. I've been busy baking. And baking and baking. So, anyway, I don't know. What's the verdict?
It's so bad that I keep eating it.
Well, could you tell our live audience here?
What?
Could you tell our audience your opinion?
It's so bad that I ate it all.
Okay, I guess it was a hit. That was his answer to my question. So anyway, thank you for joining us here on Lucky Episode 21. Join us here next week. We'll come up with something else. We're winging our way toward Valentine's Day, so we might have to come up with something pink, red, and white. Anyway, thanks so much. See you next time.